Hi, I'm Carol Kent, and I'm interviewing one of my favorite people today. Her name makes me smile. It's Cricket Keith. And Cricket is the Women's Ministries Director at First Evangelical Church in Memphis, Tennessee. And I've had the privilege of ministering at one of their retreats, and this is an alive women's ministries. She was on staff with Campus Crusade, they now call it Cru, for 10 years, and she's a graduate of Dallas Theological Seminary. This woman knows her stuff. She speaks and teaches at her own church, but has also spoken at retreats and conferences. And her purpose is to encourage others to passionately pursue Jesus Christ. She's the author of several published Bible studies, and her latest book is called On Bended Knee, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome, Cricket.
Thank you so much. It's good to be with you again.
Well, Cricket, I love this book, and I thank you for giving me the privilege of endorsing it. But why did you write a Bible study on prayer?
I wrote a Bible study on prayer because it was where I was at in my life. I was busy in the ministry. I was caring for an aging mom, and I was meeting with God in the morning, having a quiet time, but there was something missing. I was going through the motions of prayer. I was meeting and saying words to Him, but there wasn't that intimacy with Him that I had had in the past. And so I asked Him, God, what can I do to recharge, to refresh my relationship with You in this time of prayer? And He led me to look at prayers in the Bible. And so that's how it began. And as I looked at how these men and women prayed, it taught me how to come before God. It taught me how to just pour out my heart to Him, and it changed my prayer life.
Well, Cricket, before we go any further, I have to ask, why do you think we struggle with prayer so much?
Yeah. There's several reasons that I've seen, some in my own life and some with others, but one is busyness. We're so busy that we just think, okay, I'll get to that. I've got to take care of the urgent. I'll get to that later. And then prayer just gets pushed aside. So I think just that the busyness of life. Another reason is that some people think, well, why pray? I mean, I've already asked God. I prayed for something, and He said no. He didn't answer my prayer, so why should I even bother? This time He's not going to answer. And so it's almost like a lack of faith, and I've been guilty of that.
Well, we get discouraged.
We do, and we think, why do we pray?
And I think you have really hit on an important point. But I want to know, there's so many prayers in the Bible. How did you pick which ones to include in this study?
Well, that was hard. I started with ones that in the past have been special to me, like Hannah and Jehoshaphat. And then I began to just ask God to show me prayers like Paul. Paul prays for believers, and as the women's ministry director, when I first came to Memphis, I asked God to show me what do I pray for my women, and He directed me to Paul's prayers. So it was just little by little God would direct me. Job poured out his heart in despair, and I thought, we're all going to go through seasons of despair.
It really was felt needs, common needs that people have and need to pray about. Now, I'm really intrigued with the title of this book, On Bended Knee, because it's a picture in my mind of somebody on a bended knee. What's the significance of that to you?
Well, the Greek words used for bended knee have to do with just showing homage and respect for, and I liked that title because it does give a picture of what this book is about. It's about praying with an attitude of humility and respect for God on bended knee, even if you're not on bended knee.
Yes, you can be bended in your heart on bended knee.
Attitude.
Yes.
And I will say that even going through this study has made me spend more time on my knees as I think about that way to respect and show awe and worship and humility.
How do we know if we're asking God for the right things?
Yeah, that's a good question, Carol.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one. I think where we handle that is that we're honest. I think we need to be honest with God, but always asking Him to show us, God, what do You want in that? And there are times I've said, God, I don't know what You want. but I'm going to ask for my desire, and yet if it's not what you want, don't give it. Just say no. And I think we have to be in tune with God to know, and sometimes we don't know.
It's true. Well, this is a powerful study. I highly recommend it. And I think that every women's ministries group in the country needs to have a study on unbended prayer. And I would like people to know they'll see the website where they can get more information and have ordering information on how they can get a hold of this book. But I know you have a heart for this. I want you to look at the camera and tell those people anything you'd like them to know about this book and how it will help them.
Well, I would say that if you're struggling with your prayer life right now, maybe it's feeling dry, maybe you're feeling a little distant from God in your prayers, this is the book that is designed to help you grow in your relationship with the Lord through prayer. It will walk you through it, not just academic study, but walking you through prayer. And you will find that you'll spend time on your knees, at least in your heart, seeing your prayer life grow. And so I challenge you, I encourage you to pick this up and to let God work in your life.
This is a powerful resource, praying like prophets, warriors, and kings. That's what kind of a prayer life I want, and I hope you do too. It's On Bended Knee. It's published by Moody Publishing, and it will help you both in your personal study and it will help you in small group studies. So please rush out and get this great book.